Hey, welcome back to another episode of Menopause Moguls, Navigating Midlife-ish with yours truly, Dr. Joyelle. So today I wanted to talk about when the degrees are earned, the promotions happen, the children are cared for, everyone else is okay, but you still feel disconnected from yourself. We as women, especially as Black women, have mastered survival. We know how to push through. We know how to perform. We know how to achieve. We know how to carry everyone else. But what if this season is calling us to go deeper? And what if wellness is not just about prevention of disease, but really finally giving ourselves permission to live and just be, empowered to live in peace and joy? So that's what I want to talk to you all about today. Going from survival to stewardship, reclaiming our wellness, reclaiming our purpose, reclaiming our peace. And I also have a special announcement that I'm going to announce at the end. So stay tuned. Keep listening until we get to the end. I wanted to share with y'all. But I wanted to talk about this because couple of things. I went to my oldest daughter's. She had a program there was a dinner for students who made the principal's list. So she is a freshman in high school. Lord, I can't believe this. She's almost being done a freshman. Oh gosh, the time is flying. Anyway, she made the principal list. Yay for her. And in this dinner where they invited the parents and obviously the students who were getting the awards, they had a keynote speaker, and he talked about his talk actually surprised me. He was sharing a story about speaking to a former student, and he was asking her, okay, so what are your plans? And she's talking about, ranting and raving about these top schools that, she's interested in. And then, the major that she's interested in and what degrees she won. And he was like, okay. And what else? And she was like, and then I'm going to go to, graduate school and do this and do that. And he was like, okay, what else? And what he was getting at was, we focus a lot, and we're conditioned to focus a lot on the achievements and getting all of the degrees and, all of the accolades. But we don't insert the necessity or the priority of rest and wellness. And I was so surprised by that, because usually these type of talks or speeches for, students who are on the principal's list or, graduating students, they talk about all the achievements and all the things that, being successful and things like that, which is great. But I've never, obviously, this is my first kid, but, obviously I've been in these speeches before as a, college student and then medical student. No one mentioned the word rest. No one mentioned the word wellness. So I was so surprised that this was the focus of his talk. Basically encouraging students to, yes, the accolades are great, the achievements are great, but don't forget to rest. Don't forget to take care of yourself. And also don't get off track of your purpose and staying in tune with your spiritual compass, right? Your higher self, staying in tune with that. And I thought that was so fascinating. I'm like nudging my daughter, like, you listen to this? Are you listening to this? Because we, especially Black girls, Black women, are conditioned to produce and perform, and to survive, through all the things that we go through. And a lot of times when we're doing all of these, focusing on all these achievements, we neglect ourselves. And, as we get up into these big ages, we've been conditioned to do that for so long. And then we get to midlife and it's like our bodies are like, we gonna have to do something else, right? So midlife becomes this interruption that forces us to reevaluate. Girl, what you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, do we need another degree? Do we need another certification for real, for real? And not to say those things are bad, not to say those things you're allowed to want those things. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, being on this hustle and grind to do those things, we a lot of times can neglect ourselves. And because in the midst of doing all these things, we are pushing through. We are just surviving, right? And when we talk about stewardship and what that looks like, it really looks like having a responsibility for caring for ourselves, caring for our minds, caring for our bodies, caring for our spirits, and protecting all of that, and really living life with intention and not just exist in survival mode. Because when we think about the cost of living in survival mode, right? Like we have been, doing all the things to, be noticed, be seen, right? To be heard. We're taking these leadership positions. We are, going on big stages and doing all these things. At the same time, we're also caregiving. We're taking care of our families, taking care of aging parents. A lot of us can be involved in our communities. We have uphold the persona of the strong one, of the girl that's always, we always have our shit together. But on the inside, right, as when we're surviving through all of that, right, like we're doing the things, but on the inside, internally, we are exhausted. We are disconnected from a lot of times from our higher self, because we're in this constant pressure to do the next thing, to prove ourselves, right? Produce, to be recognized. And many of us, that being the strong one can be harmful to our health, to our wellness. And as we are so busy performing and doing all the things and being strong, we forget how to experience peace. We maybe even be afraid to experience joy because we feel like there's something else around the corner that's not going to be so joyful, like that we expect the next ball to drop. So we have to, again, stay in survival mode. Like we have to stay ready, right? We have to stay ready. So wellness is, there's so many layers to it. It's so many dimensions to it, right? And many of these we have to pay more attention to, especially in these midlife years, when it comes to our emotional wellness, our mental wellness, our physical wellness. And a lot of times this looks like creating boundaries. This looks like rest, right? This looks like finding joy, even through the storms, right? This looks like regulating our nervous systems when shit does hit the fan, right? Um, this looks like walking in our purpose. That is wellness. That is how we can shift out of survival mode and really thrive and steward our our minds, our bodies, our spirits as we are navigating all the things, all the transitions that are happening in midlife. So when we, think about, all the titles and all the responsibilities that we have, accomplishments, all of the accomplishments that we have, a lot of us can be unaware of who we are outside of that. That certainly was me, right? Like, as the oldest daughter, as the doctor, as the mother, as the wife, as the sister, as the friend, as the coach, I didn't know who I was outside of all of those things. And I really had to do the work to figure that out. And it came down to, number one, making the decision to sit with myself, to prioritize me. And then number two, asking the questions, right? Who are you when you are not doing something for someone else? Right? What really brings you joy outside of your children, outside of spending time with your husband? Just you by yourself. What brings you joy? And I remember struggling with those questions in the beginning of this self-work journey, like struggling, y'all. I don't know. I've been so used to doing all the things for everyone else and getting this degree and trying to get this award and this recognition. So I really had to take the time to sit with myself and figure those things out. And at the same time, I had to normalize rest without feeling guilty. I mean, I have to admit in the beginning, me trying to rest, me calling myself rest wasn't rest. My mind was still going. I was still thinking about all the things I had to do on my to-do list, all the things that I forgot to do on my to-do list, all the things that I should have done on the to-do list. Like, there's just racing, right? Feeling guilty for just sitting down because, girl, you got dishes in the sink. Girl, there's laundry to be done. Girl, there's this, there's that. I really had to normalize rest without feeling guilty. I had to normalize saying no to my children. Like, yes, I wanted to be this. Oh, I'm the perfect mom because I do all the things for my kids. I had to get to a point like, child, them kids gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. You can say no, and they're gonna be okay. So I started doing that, and they've been okay, y'all. I mean, they don't like it when I say no, but that's their problem. That's not my problem. Let me tell you. And yes, I do. I'm still, on the internet streets talking about how I'm taking the kids this place and that place and that place. But let me tell you, there's a lot of other places they be wanting to go, but I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that. But why, mommy? Because I'm not. No, I'm actually going to go home and take a nap. Oh, I'm actually going to go home and put my feet up. And they have to accept it. I mean, that's what it is. But these are the things that I've had to put into place to really reconnect with myself, because I was totally disconnected in who I am and who I am supposed to be, as I'm, going through all these things, in addition to taking care of the parents and, trying to figure out what move I want to make when it comes to my business and doing things like that. But I had to, like I said, do those things in order to tap into my inner self and reclaim feeling well, reclaim and protect my peace. And there's so many other things, outside of that, that can be outside noise where, there's social media, and then you start comparing yourself to other people and what they're doing. And there's expectations of family and expectations of your peers. As I, transitioned from clinical practice to just speaking and coaching and things like that, my family was like, "What are you doing? Girl, I thought you was a doctor. Like, what's happening?" And I'm like, "I am still, but I'm doing something different." And they've had to accept that, right? Like they don't have no choice, right? But I had to learn to accept that for myself, right? Because again, outside of being the doctor, who the hell am I? I had to have that honest conversation with myself and figure that out, right? Oh, sorry y'all. I thought I'd silenced my phone. Okay. So yeah. So just being intentional about being quiet with myself and really, and that can look different for everybody, right? Some of that can look like morning walks for people. For me, it has been meditation, it's been prayers, it's been journaling, it's been therapy. But a lot of it is just me sitting with myself, right? And caring intentionally for myself, getting to know myself, getting to like and accept myself as I am, as opposed to who I'm supposed to be according to that person, or as according to somebody else's timeline, or according to even a timeline that I've created in my head that probably shouldn't even exist, right? So going from survival to stewardship really looks like protecting your energy, honoring your body, and really living aligned with purpose, with your purpose, and choosing to be well, right? So yeah. So the shift, going from survival to stewardship, I would say overall, 4 things. What, 5? Number 1, you have to choose you. Period. Choose you. Number 2, and I understand I've talked about this before. That was hard for me, choosing myself. But it's a practice. It's a muscle. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you're with doing it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is redefining success, right? Like success is not just about the next award, the next big thing. Success is having freedom to say no without feeling guilty. Success is protecting my peace at all costs. Success is joy, creating joy, finding joy, even when life is chaotic around me, right? Number 3 is listening to my body. My body be saying stuff and she be expecting me to listen. She was like, "It's been too many years that you have totally ignored me, and it's time to listen." So listening to my body is number 3. When there's fatigue, when there's headaches, when there's irritability, or there's something going on with my sleep, I have to listen. Okay, so what do I need to do? What does my body need? Asking all the questions, I go into like, okay, I hear you. Like, what do we need to do so you don't feel like this or that. Okay. Um, Number 4 is essentially making wellness the lifestyle. Like, it is not something that, it's not a chore. It's not something that I do for a couple of months. It is a lifestyle. And that encompasses many different things. As I said before, wellness is multidimensional. And that is, moving my body, being mindful of what I'm eating, what I'm putting in my body, not only eating, but social media, what I'm watching on television. I had to turn off CNN, child. Like, I can't. I can't. Yeah. Protecting my peace. This is yeah. Anyway, resting, obviously, being more intentional about connecting with friends, good girlfriends, connecting with my sisters. So community is important and part of my wellness. Obviously, my conversations with God, prayer, all those things. And you figure what those things are for you. But that is certainly, it is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle that, again, you have to practice. Like, none of this has come easy to me, y'all. Like, this is like daily a practice, right? Like, this is not something that I'm like, oh, okay, I do it one time and I'm ready to go. I can do it consistently every single day. Like, no, there's so many things that can kind of derail me. And I do get derailed sometimes, but I always come back. I always center myself back. Like, all right, girl. Okay, what do we need? Again, checking in with myself, right? And then the last one, number 5, is just living, I would say living in alignment. And again, that is getting back to connecting with my inner self, with my higher self, figuring out what God wants me to do in this season of my life and doing the things that align with that. Right? Like, what am I being called to do now? And realizing that that can change and being okay with that. And also figuring out what no longer aligns, right? Again, setting boundaries, saying no. So yeah, those are the things that has helped me to shift from survival or just barely surviving to thriving to stewardship. Because we are not here to just push through. We are not here just to survive. We are here to experience life in its fullest of joy, of peace, happiness, obviously wellness, and our purpose. Like, we were put on this earth for a reason, and that purpose does evolve, right? So figuring out what that is in this season, because next season it may be different, and it may be different from last season, and that is okay. Okay. So my homework for you all is to spend 5 minutes of your time. Doesn't have to be every day. I'm going to give you, okay, let's say 2 days out of the week. If you can do every day this week, that would be great. But 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. And if it's 10 minutes, that you get bonus points. But 5 minutes is spending quiet time with yourself. And asking yourself, what do I need? Right? Not what everyone else needs from you. What do I need right now? Okay? All right. Special announcement before we go. I am excited to share that I have recently stepped into a new role as one of the medical advisors for Black Girl Vitamins. Yay! Let me tell y'all, this has been lots of prayer, because I have been very intentional about not co-signing on brands. Like there's been brands in the past, that have approached me, and I'm like, I have been very hesitant about promoting brands in general, because I want to remain in integrity when it comes to women and the health and wellness of women. But this position aligns with my mission to expand education around optimizing the health and wellness of Black women. And in this role, I am committed to not only educate our communities, but also help ensure that the products marketed to Black women and even Black girls remain rooted in integrity and science and safety and effectiveness. That is what I'm committed to. So if you're already using Black Girl Vitamins, let me know. I want to hear all of the feedback, negative and positive, because your experiences matter. And I want to have meaningful conversations around what Black women truly need and what they deserve to be healthy and well. So if you are already, using Black Girl Vitamins, send me a DM on Instagram at Dr. Joyelle, DrJoyel. If you're here watching on YouTube, put a note in the comments. Or if you're listening on the podcast app, give me a review, 5-star review first. And then let me know in the review. Let me know what you think about the products that you are using. Again, honest feedback, y'all. I really want to be intentional about showing up, not only using my voice, but y'all's voice, in creating products that serves y'all, and really speaks to your health and wellness. So let me know. If you haven't tried any of their products, I invite you to do that. I use quite a few. Their CMOS tablets, their collagen powder, which I've loved. So if you're interested in trying a product, you can receive a 20% off discount using my code DrJoy20. That's capital DRJOY, the number 20. So I'll put that in the show notes too. So y'all know. But yeah, y'all, that's what I'm doing these days. Making new moves. And pretty excited about it. So again, let me know. But that is what I have to share with you all today. Thank you for listening. Please share this episode with all the women that you know. I want you to remember to protect your peace, honor your wellness, and remember that you are worthy of all the things. Okay? All right, y'all. As always, sending love and light, and I'll talk to y'all later. All right, y'all. Bye.